Number 10. Last snowboarding. In January 2018, John Bromwell was last seen on the Packweed chairlift in Tignes after choosing to go for one more solo run. 4 months later, French police verified that the body recovered in the French Alps was that of 39-year-old Brummel from Willingham by Stowe, near Gainsborough. According to authorities, the weather at the resort was severe and getting worse when Brummel had set out. They recorded over 3 feet of snow in the resort at the time of John's disappearance, prompting an avalanche warning. Poor weather delayed a full-scale search by French police. Brummel might have gotten disoriented after coming around a tight curve on a run under the heavy snowfall. Police discovered no suspicious circumstances or third-party involvement in his death, which was conducted at Lincoln Cathedral Center. Senior coroner Timothy Brennand ruled John's death a misadventure and recommended that snowboarders enjoy their sport in pairs, especially after a long and stressful day on the slopes. The probable cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. The resort grabbed attention in 2017 when 4 snowboarders died in an avalanche on an unprepared slope near the hotels, a short distance from a beginner-level green run, where they set the danger level at 3. A hazard rating of 3 shows that there is a significant risk of unstable slopes. Number 9. Lost on the Everest. In May 2016, they discovered the body of an Indian climber on the top slopes of the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. According to trekking officials, Sherpas, or the local ethnic scouts, were looking for 2 Indian climbers who had been missing since May 21st of that year, discovered 58-year-old Paresh Nath's body above South Col. Paresh was one of 4 people who went missing on May 21st. Because of the terrible weather, getting the body to base camp was tough, Lubin Sherpa said. On the same day, the body of another Indian climber, Subhash Pal, went missing with Nath. They discovered him on the mountain's triangular face. Lubin Sherpa said in one interview they discovered Pal's corpse on the triangle face of Everest, and attempts of recovering his body were underway. They allegedly sighted the corpse of another missing Indian climber, Gautam Ghosh, 51, above 26,000 feet while ascending Everest on the same day, but they couldn't locate the body. Since Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary first reached the 29,029 feet peak of Everest in 1953, almost 5,000 individuals have done it at least once. According to the Himalayan database, about 300 individuals have died on the peak. Officials in Nepal think that roughly 200 bodies remain scattered throughout Everest. Number 8. Lost to GPS. They found Beverly Barker, 70, and Ronnie, 72, on a remote mountain in Nevada after 10 days on April 5, 2022. Sadly, her husband passed away on the 4th of April before they rescued them. While on a trip across the West Coast RV, the couple was following the GPS and got lost. Beverly's husband Ronnie passed away when they ran out of water and food. They transported Beverly to the hospital and treated her before being discharged on Wednesday. In a video chat with their family, Beverly gave details of the terrible 10 days on the remote mountain, stating that the Kia SUV they pulled behind the RV got buried in the mud after the duo got lost in March 27th because of incorrect GPS directions. She used her N95 mask to scrape up snow for water when they ran out of water and food, which helped her stay alive. But her husband became extremely dehydrated, and his family believes he died because of lack of food and water. His cause of death is yet to be determined. After getting trapped in the mud on Red Mountain near Silver Peak, they spent 10 days in their immobilized SUV. On March 27th, they were traveling in their RV, dragging their Kia behind them, when the RV became stuck. So the next morning, they headed off in their Kia, searching for help. They were without blankets and food. The temperature fell to 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Beverly told her family that thirst was more of a problem than being chilly. Number 7. The Wrong Turn. In 2018, hospital staff discovered 34-year-old Amanda Cox from Peebles in the Scottish borders, dead in a hospital after visiting her premature boy. They presumed she became disoriented and later fainted. They reported Cox missing from Edinburgh Royal Infirmary at around 5 p.m. after failing to return to the maternity ward after a visit to the newborn section. They later discovered her unconscious in the hospital following a 5-hour search. According to reports, Amanda suffered a hemorrhage after accidentally entering a rarely used stairway. Police classified her death as unknown but not suspicious. In a statement, the police of Scotland said, We can confirm that the missing lady, Amanda Cox, was found unresponsive within the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary at about 10 p.m. Unfortunately, she died a short time after that. According to a family friend, the new mother had been suffering from headaches since the birth of her son Murray. She was apparently returning to her room for medicine when she made a wrong turn and left the newborn unit into an abandoned ward, her friend told BBC News. My thoughts and sympathies are with Amanda Cox's family at this terrible time, NHS Lothian Deputy Chief Executive Jim Crombie said. Friends set up an online fundraising campaign to help her husband pay for her funeral and help him make the 25-mile trips to visit his son in the hospital. Number 6. Lost while snowshoeing. Nikki Donnelly from Ontario, Canada went missing on January 14, 2021, after she went snowboarding in BC's North Shore Mountains. After her disappearance, the rescue team launched an overnight search that resulted in discovering the 21-year-old's body in a steep drainage area below the peak. Nikki shared a short Instagram video of the beautiful view from the top of St. Mark's summit the day before her disappearance. According to North Shore rescue officials, she made her way back down the Howe Sound Crest Trail shortly after. Nikki contacted her partner in Toronto to inform him she had gotten lost and was in despair before losing the connection. The rescue team brought her to their rescue base by helicopter, where they confirmed her death. Sergeant Sasha Banks of the Squamish RCMP stated, "Our sympathies are with the woman's family and friends, as well as all the responders and search teams to the St. Mark's area yesterday night and today." The woman's identity was unknown to the authorities, but rescuers identified her by her first name, Nikki, and noticed that she had uploaded a video from the summit. The woman did not contact 911, according to rescuers. By the time they arrived in the late afternoon, the sun had already set. RCMP requested anyone in need of help while exploring distant places to call 911. According to rescuers, Nikki frequently traveled alone. Her most recent Instagram picture shows her dog sledding in Kelowna and skiing in Whistler. Number 5. Lost and died. They discovered Alexander Lofgren, 32, and Emily Henkel, 27, on a ledge at Willow Creek, California, on April 9, 2021, but unfortunately, Alexander died. The couple was trying to cross a canyon in California's Death Valley National Park. Alexander's family revealed that 2 flat tires had disabled his SUV, and his wife had suffered a severe foot injury during the ill-fated journey a week before. They evacuated Emily and took her to the Naval Air Station in Lemoore, California, for treatment. In the description of a GoFundMe campaign, her brother Chris Henkel stated that his sister needed surgery. According to the brother, the tragedy began on April 4th when Emily and her husband Alexander's Subaru SUV was disabled in a very isolated region of Death Valley National Park. Authorities described the couple as skilled campers who were supposed to come home that day, but never did. 2 days later, they began looking for the missing pair with rescue helicopters. According to Chris Henkel, they finally found Emily and Alexander's car on April 8th. A note inside said, 2 flat tires, heading to Mormont Point, have 3 days water supply. He said that they saw his sister and brother-in-law from the air later that day, but that rescue teams could not immediately reach them because of their inaccessible location. After an unsuccessful aerial rescue attempt the next day, on April 9th, a search group eventually contacted Emily and found that her husband had died at 11:30 a.m. Alexander was an Army veteran officer who worked on the staff of Congressman Raul Grijalva in Arizona. Number 4. Lost hiker. They found Alison Fox dead on March 1, 2018, after getting lost in the Ochills in Scotland. She was last seen hiking towards the hills behind Menstrie on Thursday afternoon. They believe that she might have gotten lost during the journey. They launched a massive search and rescue operation to bring her home safely. Police, the Coast Guard, and the Ochills Mountain Rescue Team volunteers were all sent to assist. The blizzard conditions worsened as they continued to work through the night. They tragically found Alison in the late afternoon on March 2nd, and they retrieved her from the slope by helicopter. One statement read that the Valley Police had found a lady's body during the search for Alison Fox. Officers and mountain rescue teams searched the Ochill Hills for her after she went missing near Menstrie on March 1st at roughly 2:15 p.m. They discovered her body near Dumyat Farm. At that point, they made no formal identification. They then notified Alison's family. The statement also added that there were no suspicious circumstances of Alison's death, and they sent a report to the Procurator Fiscal. Inspector Jim Young said that the bad weather on the hills got them anxious about her well-being. They were doing whatever they could to trace Alison as soon as possible. Allison was a longtime member of the Clackmannanshire Hill Walking Club, and she would have volunteered the 2018 European Championships in Glasgow. Many people have expressed their condolences to Allison's family. Number 3. Death after 26 days. They found 66-year-old hiker Geraldine Largay from Tennessee 2 years after she went missing in 2013 on the Appalachian Trail in western Maine. Unfortunately, she was dead. According to a Maine Warden Service report, Geraldine was alive for at least 26 days after she was last seen around the trail. The medical examiner determined that Geraldine's death was accidental. She went off the track, got lost in the woods, and died from a lack of food and water, besides environmental exposure. According to the investigation, she probably died while still in her sleeping bag, which was inside a closed tent. They discovered Geraldine's skeleton remains around 3 miles from where she was last seen on the route by 2 surveyors from Pretense and Carlisle districts who were doing environmental work. The medical examiner's report states that almost all the remains were in a pretty concentrated area, linked with the sleeping bag, which was situated within about 19 to 20 feet of the zipped-up tent. They also mentioned that scavenger animals took some of her remains from the tent, but they discovered most of the bones were intact in the sleeping bag. Geraldine tried to contact her husband after feeling disoriented. He never received the text because she was in a mountainous location. Maine Warden Service concluded that she moved to higher terrain to get better cellular reception, and she ended up camping in that spot. Number 2. Lost couple commits suicide. They found Rachel Nguyen, 20, and Joseph Orbesso, 22, dead in Joshua Tree National Park on October 15, 2017. The couple left on a trek in late July 2017 and failed to return to their bed and breakfast. They were gone for over 3 months. Their disappearance sparked a full investigation, and the crew searched the rough terrain for over 2,100 hours before discovering their remains in a rocky canyon on October 15th. According to Joshua Tree National Area, Rachel and Joseph got lost while trekking in the vast desert park and battled in the scorching heat with little food and no water before dying in a sympathetic murder-suicide. According to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, the autopsies revealed gunshot wounds in their bodies. Evidence at the site led detectives to suspect Orbesso shot Nguyen and then himself. The shocking news came only days after Orbesso's father, who was among the rescuers who found the bodies, said the couple was locked in an embrace. Rachel's family in a statement said, "We bear no grudges towards Joseph or the Orbesso family," and extended their sympathies. They added, "We praise God that we will be able to bury Rachel and lay her to rest properly." Orbesso's acts were still being investigated by the police, though till now, his reason has never been revealed. According to his closest buddy, Austin Young, Joseph and Rachel had dated in the past, and he took her to Joshua Tree to celebrate her birthday. They discovered a gun near the bodies, registered under Joseph's name. Austin said Joseph worked as a security guard and may have carried the weapon to protect Rachel. Number 1. Not the Santa Claus. They found Albert Chrétien from Penticton, BC, dead on September 29, 2012, after being reported missing since 2011. Nevada officials said that a pair of hunters found the body of Albert in a wooded region in the northern Elko County, after he and his wife, Rita's van, broke down in Nevada. Rita spent 48 days in the Nevada wilderness, praying and surviving on candy, trail mix, and snow, until she spotted rescuers in the distance and alerted them. According to detectives, they found Albert's body on September 29, 2012, in an isolated region of Merritt Mountain, some 7 miles west of where he set off. He had hiked roughly 2,000 feet in thick snow. The info in his wallet and business cards verified his identification. Officials said the remains were undamaged and animals had not scattered them. Last spring, the pair got lost on a snowy logging road in northeastern Nevada after becoming disoriented on a road trip from their home in Penticton, British Columbia to Las Vegas. They said Albert set out on foot to ask for help, while his wife remained in their Chevrolet Astra minivan. Officials stated to CBC News that Albert was on the proper track and was about 6 miles from the next town, but that thick snow had delayed his trip. The battery on the GPS, which had incorrectly guided the duo in the first place, had likely burned out, and his route tilted too far north, according to Sheriff's Deputy David Prowl. Would you rather be lost hiking the mountains or stranded in your car? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.